On the bottom of the deck, we have the 10 of Pumpkins cards. And it is in the reverse position. In the upright, the 10 of Pumpkins is basically the culmination of your work life, career. It can also be happy home life, family life, stable energy. Pumpkins is this earth suit in here. So it does have to do with your material success. And we can think spiritual, our family's spirit, and it's part of our spirit family. But there's also, things like the brick and mortar house aspect, or the actual physical creation of children, or, any of those things. So in the reverse, it may be that some of you are having a problem manifesting, or there may be a delay in your achieving the 10 of Pumpkins, which is the basically the pinnacle of our earthly pursuits. So let's see kind of what that's about. I noticed that there were a lot of reverse cards in your reading tonight. Covering you, your basic energy that we're operating in right now is the High Priestess in the reverse. Some of you may be feeling disconnected from your intuition. I know with the kids back in school, sometimes that can mean that you're doing a lot of other things for other people. And sometimes there's a loss of the ability to kind of go back within and take that time out to yourself to reconnect with who you are spiritually and your own personal needs as a spiritual being. Cancer people tend to naturally tap into this, be very highly intuitive, very psychic. It's part of your water sign energy. Excuse me a second. No. Sorry, I have my own kid to deal with. My cat likes to get into things that he's not allowed to when I am busy. Okay, he thinks I don't notice. He's a black cat like this one with the gold eyes. But the High Priestess she's the one who knows the knowledge of the world. She's sometimes, you can associate the High Priestess with, she's the moon. The planet Moon. And of course, we know that Cancer is ruled by the planet Moon. So there's a high connection between Cancer and the High Priestess. That sense of intuition and understanding the mysteries of the moon, the feminine, the intuitive, the receptive energies, the yin energies. In the reverse, though, this can mean a disconnect from your intuition, which could be why some of you are experiencing this a difficulty in manifesting the things that you ordinarily may be able to accomplish. Now, crossing you, we see the 5 of Imps in the reverse. For some of you, this could have disconnected you as well. This sense of struggle, disagreement, not getting along with others, right? There could be a lot of that energy for people. Struggle and strife. Trying to make sense of it all. You're coming out of this energy, which means that there's been disagreement, disharmony. 5 people, 6 opinions, and everybody speaking them boisterously and loudly and passionately. So sometimes that can be off-putting for people and disconnect them from what they need to be doing. On your mind, you've had this lack of passion. Something's setting you back. Again, if there's been a lot of strife, a lot of disconnect, Cancers tend to be people who seek harmony in their relationships with other people. So if you've been going through a lot of these struggles and you have felt disconnected from your source, probably your passion and your ability to manifest your passions into something concrete or material has been on the wane as well. Excuse me. Anyhow, so beneath you, we have the 5 of Pumpkins, which is about disappointment and loss, lack, feeling left out in the cold. We have 2 5s in this reading to this point. And 5s are about disharmony and disconnect. Again, not getting along with others. And that can be a struggle. Feeling left out in the cold, having to hurry beyond something, being forced to push aside your personal energy, or your own interests, not being able to take care of your stuff because you have to hustle beyond it, but needing to process your emotions here. That's part of the disconnect. I've known many a Cancer that if they can't feel their feelings when they feel them, if they can't process them, they tend to stuff their feelings, and then they can either erupt or they can have moments of passive aggression. And that's not how they want to live. Cancers, really, they just want to get along with everybody. They want things to be harmonious. And when people are pulling their nonsense about them, It can be very, very off-putting for a Cancer person. In the background, we have the Knight of Pumpkins in the reverse. Knight of Pumpkins, slow-moving energy, but it's somebody who has studied and learned things, but now is going forward to try to put them into action. But he's a very slow mover, right? Earth is a slow sign. That's kind of when you have to get down and do the detail work and so on. In the reverse, this could be about an inability to manage all the tiny little details of our lives that we have to get underway. This can be a slowing down even of that energy. Even as the Knight, you'd think would be moving forward, but it looks more like his horse is shifting its weight from one foot to the next, more so than taking a step forward to actually move anywhere. The Knight is contemplating the pumpkin, right? He's contemplating how to put forward the material. But in the slow energy, in the pumpkins, that could be a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn person, not necessarily. It could be somebody in that energy, or it could just be the situation on its own. You're trying to put something together, but everything seems to be lacking in harmony, and it's very hard to get it forward. And so there's some sense of disappointment and some sense of loss and having to have dealt with this discombobulating energy that's left you feeling like, what in the world is going on with that? Now we have here the Four of Bats, and this is about meditation, rest, contemplation. He's sleeping here, trying to get wisdom in dreams. Note the moon in the stained glass window top left. That's about intuition and insight, meditation. Using your natural, innate lunar energies to be able to understand your experiences and know where you're going. So definitely take the time to get to some place where you can rest and take some time to yourself. I know that that's really hard because there's a lot of energy in this reading, a lot of people in this energy that may be kind of gumming it up a little bit for you. Now, the card representing you is the Seven of Imps. The Seven of Imps card is about movement. They're moving on. They're not sure what the end result is going to be. The moon looks more optimistic than anyone else. Although the little one, kind of in the middle, seems to have the most positive or hopeful outlook. There is guidance here in this one leaning on the staff, but this is about stagnation and a lack of movement. And Knight of Pumpkins is about a lack of movement. This is about movement, but in a different sense. It's being left out in the cold. It's feeling like you don't belong somewhere. Or it's a sense of disappointment or loss, or a focus on disappointment and loss. So it's best to take some time out to yourself to figure out what it is that you need to do to get yourself to right again. Because it's affecting your ability to manifest and to really be happy in your day-to-day goings on. Whether you're looking for a new job, whether you're maintaining your career or job right now, whether it's about household stuff. I feel like some of you may be feeling personally lost in the shuffle because you're taking care of a lot of stuff at home, and that's leaving you feeling kind of like you don't have enough time for yourself on a level. Now, the Three of Ghosts is about celebration and success. It's in the upright, not the reverse. The reverse would be like a three-party situation, like a cheating situation. But this is in the upright, so there's something to celebrate in your environment. This could be the accomplishment of somebody in your family. Maybe your kids are successful on sports teams. Maybe your wife or your husband is having a job success, a promotion, something positive to really celebrate. So it's not that there aren't great things that are going on, but there's a lot of the day-to-day. Sometimes we forget that when we go to a party to celebrate a success, somebody had to plan that. Somebody had to call everyone, send out the evites, get the party favors and the plates and the forks and, do the dishes and, organize the food and all the rest of that. We forget how much goes on behind the scenes that other people have to prepare. In the hopes and fears, we have the Knight of Imps. And this is about being able to find your passion and manifest it in a material way, right? Passion into action. Very fast-moving energy. And this is the opposite of what you're experiencing, but this is what you're hoping for. Now, Imps is a fire sign, can be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, but doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be a person. But it's definitely fast-moving, passionate energy. And if you've been feeling a little dispassionate about your life, maybe a little frustrated in the daily grind or the tedium, this is what you're hoping for. It only makes sense that way. You're hoping to be moving forward. As I said in one of the other readings, though, sometimes the fastest movement forward is the one in which we stand still. Because we can't just launch out into a direction if we have no idea where we're going. If we're disconnected from our direction, our passion, what we need to be doing in our life, we're only going to be going in potentially wrong directions. So our fastest action may in fact be to hold still and to relax and to just sort of let the plot unfold for a few minutes as we check in with ourselves to find out exactly what it is that we need to be doing. And then the final outcome card for this reading here is the 10 of Imps. And the 10 of Imps is about responsibility. It's about taking care of all the jots and tittles, all the little imps that Quasimodo or whatever the hunchback is called in here, taking care of all his business. Notice the focus by the hunchback of the one imp that is being left behind. This came up in earlier readings too. Make lists. Put down the details. That way you don't have to remember as much. You can put it down on your list. Just don't forget the list, right, when you go out or when you're trying to handle your business. And be careful, too, that if you do miss something, you do miss a thing or two that should be on your list, you don't want to be overly focused on the missing or the lost or whatever it was that escaped your attention or notice. Okay? That's not where you want to be. Okay? Now, I'm working with the Alice in Wonderland Oracle cards. And let's ask Spirit if maybe they have some clarification or some guidance, something to help you deal with all these responsibilities that you have going on right now, so that you can feel more in keeping, more in step with yourself, with where you need to go, how to get through your life, how to focus on the positive accomplishments that you've been doing, because you've certainly been busy. I mean, there's a lot of energy in here, even though it doesn't represent a great deal of forward movement in the sense of change that's coming down. It certainly does represent that there's a lot of day-to-day maintenance type stuff that's going down. Excuse me a minute. And it is choices, feeling blocked, restrained. There were doors all around the hall, but they were locked. And when Alice had been the way down one side and up the other, trying every door, she walked sadly down the middle, wondering how she was ever to get out again. When we are changing in order to find our own personal wonderland, we need to keep the momentum going in whatever area of life the magic of change is arriving. This means leaving the in-between lands of the idea and entering into choices we must make to move forward. It may seem to you, as it does to Alice, that each choice presents a potential problem, that there is not one clear choice or way to go. Each door is locked, too small, impossible to open or to fit through. But Alice had not yet found the way. You too are on the road to finding the way to unlock the opportunities that are all about you. It may also be that various tests of courage will reveal the key to the door, which will see you enter Wonderland. Right now you have choices. Each of them may seem to have one or more drawbacks or obstacles. You feel that if you do not know how to get through to the other side, perhaps you are not meant to go there at all. But look about you. I'm sorry, I lost my place here. Let's see. Each of them may seem to have one or more drawbacks or obstacles. You feel that if you do not know how to get through to the other side, perhaps you are not meant to go there at all. But look about you. There are solutions. There are ways through. You can create the next step, but you must be brave and willing to try something very new. And then you must be ready to deal with the uncertainty taking the steps shall bring. If you peek through the keyhole, as Alice does, you will see the doorway leads to the loveliest garden you can imagine. You must find a way through, because the delights that lie on the other side are worth this test. The challenge is how to reach this place. You may need to grow smaller. You may need to grow larger. You may need to change yourself in ways that initially seem very strange to you. In divination, in the reading, the card indicates choosing which way to go, a moment of decision, uncertain of what is best or what to do next, feeling like each door is closed, wanting to reach the next stage of your life, but not seeing a single way through. Give it time, Cancer. Give it time. This is what the Four of Bats is trying to tell you. Take some time in your meditation so that you can reconnect with your higher calling. And then you'll know exactly what it is that you do want to do. You'll reconnect with your intuition in that way and your heavenly guidance, your spiritual guidance. And then you too will be celebrating because you'll know exactly where you want to go. And then all of a sudden, these choices, these doors will be opening for you.